Says we're live. It's lied to me. Testing the broadcast signal. We will be talking about Sasquatch. We will be talking controversial. We're going to have some crazy questions. Hello. My name is Todd Standing. I'm the man who takes people out in the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. That's my catchphrase. I'm thinking about changing it because I like another catchphrase. There's another catchphrase I have that I say, have a look at my footage. Believe it or not, but don't take my word for it. Come out with me and I will show you a Sasquatch. That's something I also say very often. Because that's what I do. Don't believe me? You don't believe the footage is real? You think it's controversial? You know it's not controversial? Come out and see a Sasquatch. Then the controversy is gone. What controversy is there then? Obviously, I showed you a Sasquatch. Have a nice day. Hello, everybody. Blue, you were first. Blue, you're my boy. I just love that old school movie. Never forget it, right? So let's have some fun today. I guess the big thing going on is the coronavirus. And hello, Amanda. Thank you for tuning in. So much stuff going on right now. That's kind of cool. Not coronavirus stuff, but let's talk about that for a Sasquatch. A Sasquatch, a moment, a second, not for a Sasquatch. Let's talk about the coronavirus and Sasquatch. Are we concerned about them getting the coronavirus? Well, let me think. No. If they took, I'll tell you something that's really important though, just speaking about viruses and whatnot, and it's something that's really changed the way I do research. You can't be sick and be giving the Sasquatch apples. I can't have expeditioners be ill and give the Sasquatch an apple because I'll tell you, if we ever made a Sasquatch ill, if it ever caught one of our colds or our sicknesses, it would be like giving it to one of those ancient old tribes. You'd probably wipe out the whole group. It'd be a real disaster. When I go and see the gorillas, just behind the scenes at the zoos that I've been to talk to the primatologists and learn about the gorillas, they always make me wear a mask. No questions asked. No cold or not, doesn't matter how healthy you are, you wear a mask. I've made contact with the gorillas. I've fed them. I've had the gorillas touch me. It's kind of not supposed to do that. When that happens, the primatologists say, don't tell anybody that. What happens when you go behind the scenes with the gorillas is all the zoos, they have usually 3 areas for the gorillas. And the Calgary Zoo in particular, they had 2 males that lived together. A male troop. There was no silverback, just 2 males. Then they had the troop with the dominant silverback, and then an open area. So it was an outdoor area, the indoor area for people to view them, and then the behind the scenes area where there's big steel bars and you can throw food in and you can open the gate and let them out or in. But anyways, through those steel bars, I fed and got to know and really enjoyed the company of Kakanga. He was my friend. He taught me so much about Sasquatch. I tell you, there were so many similarities. If I could have brought Kakanga, the Sasquatch would have loved him. I don't know why. They would have come out and seen him. They'd have probably adopted him, made friends with him. But anyways, the point I'm making here is the only place you could ever have any contact with any of the chimpanzees or gorillas at any zoo is you can't. There's plastic up and it's sealed plexiglass, bulletproof plastic, not just to protect you, but also so you can view them and so you can't give them any illnesses because the gorillas would get sick and die. The chimpanzees, the orangutans, they would die if they got any of our illnesses. They couldn't survive the flu. And it'd be the same thing with the Sasquatch. However, let's say that hypothetically a Sasquatch got one of our illnesses or got the coronavirus. Well, one thing, this leads me into something else that I'd like to talk about with Sasquatch, is it's very clear to me that they're devoted to one another. Deeply devoted. They have a group. They stay within their territory. I believe if they got any kind of illness, let's say coronavirus, the group would be isolated from other groups. They don't. There are times when the groups interact. I'm also very convinced of that. I've seen that in the biology, where a certain time of year, the troop just disappears. They're gone. You can't see them anymore. What happened to them? And there are certain times a year where a particular area, like Nordegg in 2013, I'm going to say it right here publicly, there were way too many Sasquatch there that year. That's when Jeff Meldrum saw Sasquatch. That's when Survivor Man had incredible encounters and interactions, and it was just a totally amazing year for him. And then Survivor Man came back in 2014, and he'll tell you right straight it wasn't the same. The area was dead. It didn't have the life. It didn't have the activity. There were potentially other reasons for that, but at that time of year, we only noted one Sasquatch coming around us. He had a 12-inch track, and Les still had a live interaction. Can you imagine that? Even like the worst possible, the worst thing that happened to me is I took Survivor Man up for 3 days, and a young Sasquatch came around. He was very convinced of that. It was very clearly happening. So we found the tracks from him. I heard him multiple times, and then at the end of the last episode, I kept hearing that Sasquatch. I kept telling Les, man, the Sasquatch is going, hey! He was making a sound just like that. And I was in the back all the time, telling Les where to go. But so finally he said, get the hell out of there, switch. So all day that day he was in the back. And then he's like, I just heard it. And I was like, I didn't hear it. He goes, believe me, I heard it exactly like you told me. So at the end of the episode, he was moving towards the Sasquatch. And that Sasquatch, you could hear him. He was making sounds. He moved off and he backed away. Because you need more time. You got to be patient with these guys. You can't just expect in a day, boom, we're going to see a Sasquatch and then we're going to have interactions and all this wonderful stuff is happening. But anyways, it just ultimately though, I'll go back to, it's very clear to me that the groups they love each other. They're devoted to one another. They're family groups, just like gorillas, even similar to chimpanzees. So the odds would be extremely high, especially at this time of year. The groups would be isolated. They're going to be focused on food sources because it's spring right now. And they're going to be focused on survival. They're not going to be breeding or interacting. This would be just not the time of year for that. And breeding, they're not going to have, remember that primates don't have a breeding season. Just like human beings, there's no different. We give human birth control pills to chimpanzees and gorillas in the zoos so they don't breed. And you can't do that with dogs or horses. There's no animal you can do that. Chickens, nothing. No animal except the great apes breed the way we do because we are great apes. We're in the great apes category. We don't have a tail and, all the similarities that we have, which is very significant. It's only bonobos, chimpanzees, orangutans, human beings, and gorillas. Those are the known primate great apes. And, of course, the Sasquatch are absolutely in that category. So, and the other thing I wanted to talk about, too, I'll get to your questions right away, guys. Oh, and Amanda says that you can sign up for the newsletter to find more about it. Go to, whoa, bouncing around. Way up here. Go to the, for any future documentary releases and more information, go to discoveringbigfoot.org and just go to the sign up there. There's an email address you can go to and sign up for the monthly newsletter. And there is lots of news coming. Oh my God. I'm like, Amanda, I need to talk to you. So we got to have a little chat because there's some stuff going on. I already sent Phil an email. So it's just, I don't want to get too excited about things because, there's always TV shows and movie deals and all this stuff always hunting around me. And there's always those kind of potentials. But, I'm kind of in the final stages of that stuff. SoCal Force Ninjas! Why how you doing? And so anyways, we're just lots of stuff going on. And it's crazy too. I had 3 people cancel their expeditions. So everybody knows, 30% off expeditions. These guys put a down payment on it and they're canceling it because of the coronavirus. I mean, what the hell? So this coronavirus thing, I mean, I think as human beings, I know it's hard and we're overdoing it a lot. We're overdoing it, but is it a bad thing? I kind of see this as practice too for when some coronavirus is not some horrible, terrible nightmare. It's not, most people are surviving it. Out of the 200,000 people that got it, only, 8,000 are passing away, which is terribly unfortunate. Terribly unfortunate. It's awful, but it's a small percentage, and there are going to be viruses that come our way, possibly, that kill everybody. And we need to, I see it as a good practice for just getting ready for something terrible to come along. Some idiot's going to put out a freaking virus and design one, and it's going to do horrible things. I don't know. Anyways, I'm doing very well. Canada's doing very well. And my thoughts and prayers honestly go out to everybody who's going through this. It's a tough time for us, and financially it's going to be so hard for people, right? Oh my God, it sucks. I don't mind that some expeditioners canceled and stuff, and 2 of them don't have good reasons. in my opinion, but they have every reason to do that. So anyways, they put their deposits down, and I'm putting those deposits to the next people. So anybody who wants to jump on board for an expedition, like flights are cheap right now. The other expeditioners, I told them all, I said, yo, book a flight. Flights are, prices have dropped. So right now, I mean, my expeditions are happening. As long as I can go like this and I have a pulse, I show up. I have never missed a TV show, a shoot of any kind, or an expedition. Never. One time. I've never been late. I show up. I will be there. I get it done. If I'm not there, call hospitals, because that's how serious I am about TV show shoots. Survivormen and expeditions are so serious to me. I'm always going to be there. They're huge. They're hugely important. So I hope I answered your question, Phil. Do you think Sasquatch would catch it? No, I don't think they would. I know they would. They would catch it, and they'd probably die from it. We would be more resilient to it than they would, because we have all these viruses we deal with all the time. I'm just getting over my cold that I've had for 3 weeks. How many times have I had the flu and colds and sicknesses? You get a buildup. We've coronavirus. This is coronavirus number 19. There have been many before. So, as someone who's studied biology in university, I know a little bit about them, and Sasquatch are much more closely related to us. They're our closest living relative. The DNA shows that. So absolutely they would catch it, absolutely, and it would be absolutely much more devastating towards them because they're not used to it. But again, if they did, they live in family groups, they live in cells. It would be shocking to me if a cell died and then maybe one other cell got affected. That would be a shock. It would be shocking to me that one Sasquatch would catch it. And if one did, the troop would. The troop all die. And maybe that's happened. It probably has happened. Where a Sasquatch takes something from a human being, catches a cold or a sickness from it, and the whole troop dies. So we know it's happened with indigenous peoples, right? You go into, it happened in South America. You go into South America, you cough on somebody, and everybody dies. And it's just a simple cold for us. To them, it's devastating. So Trevor Hanley, hey Todd, where can we go see footage of the people you take and live interact with Sasquatch? Do these folks have a YouTube channels or websites? Well, most of my expeditioners are all coming back, and I'm going to put some footage in my documentaries as I need to, but I find most of my expeditioners just want to be private. I mean, they have the ability, they can sign a waiver and have their footage used, but no, there's no YouTube channel or anything like that. I've only taken out, I don't know, I would say expeditioners wise, I'd have a list of, it would be under 30 people. And of the 30 people, like 22 of them approximately are coming back. So these people have become my friends, and I have really good relationships with them. That's why expeditions are so easy for me. I just call everybody up. Yo, when are you coming? Right? And so a lot of times even, I can't really make it this year. Life's crazy. I'll come next year. It's like that. So when you go out and you bleed with me, and we bleed and we suffer, and it's hard. When you go through that, you become really good friends. So my expeditioners are more like colleagues, and it's my intention to train them, because there are expeditioners that have come 3 years in a row. These people are trained, man. I mean, they're devoted, they're hardcore. So when I have my Sasquatch Research Center, they're so well trained, they don't need me. They're just going to go out there and do their own thing. Well, we'll be cooperating. I'll have a computer out there with data, and they can go every night. You can go read through all the data. Even I can send them emails of what's been happening, and then we'll have like a set list of things to do, and then they can do that or switch it. It just depends on what they want. I'll have it mapped out where we've been and what we saw and where the tree breaks are and where the tracks are. All that stuff will be there. It's really going to be, technologically everything will be there, and so that's and most of my expeditioners. You know what? This is really what happens. Is sometimes people come out with a little bit of doubt, but I don't know, in a few days they learn to trust me. Then after they see a Sasquatch, they go, or they live interact with Sasquatch, they go like, dude, this is real. This is awesome. I don't want to get ridiculed and mocked. There's haters out there. There's, Joe Rogan is a hater of mine. There's lots of negative stuff. Do you really want to subject yourself to that? And I can't think of one person, Rich, one of my expeditioners, awesome guy. A smoker, tough as nails. Like, who thought that would happen? He's the only smoker I ever took out. I talked to Happiest Wife Ever, who's one of my new expeditioners. Congratulations to you. I'll just call her Happiest Wife Ever. She's become just a wonderful asset and help in my life. She's just quitting smoking. I'm sorry, Happiest Wife Ever. I told you the only person. That's not true. There was one other person. Rich is just tough as nails. Rich was thinking about going on Sasquatch Chronicles, and they can do all that stuff, but I don't know. They just really don't want to. They're not interested in. I don't know. It's just the personality type that I get. They're just not interested in that stuff. And again, I'll use them for my documentaries and stuff. But the toilet paper crisis, Tommy just said that. But and Aloha, Mexico, really, Sharon? That's so cool. And SoCal. Man, I got to know how to chat with you. Are you on Facebook? You got to send me a letter or something, because there's a lady that I've been talking to in Southern California who's had some really cool, exciting stuff happen in the last couple years. So I'd like to hook you two guys up. We're going to really work in the next little while at building a better system and cooperation. I just got to get my life organized, because I really want to be able to hook people up. Aaron! Thank you so much for the donations. What do you think of how to hunt videos? I don't think things. I have opinions, and I either know stuff. I'll tell you, I know the how to hunt guy. I mean, he knows his stuff. He knows. He's no bullshit. And I don't know, he seems like a pretty tough, cool dude. So actually, honestly, I like him. I got an expeditioner, my brother, Cody, who just had a baby. Yeah! I'm so happy for you, Cody. Wonderful, awesome baby boy. Man, that just made me so excited that my brother, just this wonderful, awesome guy who's an expeditioner. This guy, I want to call him a kid, but he's 32 or 33. He's in his 30s. He came on an expedition. He's kind of like, he's this endomorph guy. He's pretty big. He's like this wrestler, right? And you think, they're a little slow. Dude, I want to put an apple up high. He goes, I'll put it up high. I'll put you on my shoulders. He goes, I'm like 200 pounds. Like, I don't mind. He goes, I'll just climb it. There's no leaf. There's no branches. So this guy just latches onto the tree and starts climbing. This big, strong guy, and he goes up like 15 feet. Is that high enough? He puts an apple up, and he comes back down. I was like, holy crap, man. Just by rapping, I've never seen anybody do that before. I know a Sasquatch can fly up and down those trees, but it was hard. It wasn't some easy thing. But amazing, some of the things I've seen from expeditioners. Amazing ideas, amazing, brilliant things. Happiest Wife Ever, who's been on here for so long. It's so exciting that she's coming on an expedition. And she's actually, she's a ringer. This woman is like wonderful and gentle and loving and caring. She's a mother. And I hooked her up. I have two women. They're both in their 30s, both these ladies. They're both really pretty and gentle and nice and loving in their own different ways. And so I'm going to put them out there on expedition. It's kind of I'm calling it like my greatest possibility for success kind of expedition. So I'm really excited to have them out. So that's what happens. Am I lucky? Like, what a little, what a jerk I am, huh? I get these people to come out on expeditions, and they, they fund and pay for the expedition, and then I get incredible research results because of them. Like, how awesome is that? And I'll tell you, both of these, every expeditioner, they're stoked, they're excited. I'm excited. I mean, I just can't not. There's a kid from New York coming out. He's like this young 20-year-old kid. It's his first trip out of the United States, first trip out of New York State. He's stoked. How could I not be stoked? I'm so proud of him. I just think, man, I have a couple 70-year-olds coming out. Two women that are in their 70s from Colorado, these awesome ladies, and they're going to do this expedition with me. And I thought, why not? I took out John Benedeglo. He was 70. And it's their expedition. They could do whatever the hell they want. I'll take them. They said, how far can we go? I go, how far can you ladies hike? As far as you can go, that's how far we'll go. And they're like, man, so they're all getting in shape and stuff. That's inspirational. You got to be inspired. 70-year-old ladies from Colorado coming out on expedition, kicking some ass in the Canadian wilderness, mountain lions, no tigers, but bears, oh my. I just, wow. And again, thank you, Aaron, for your support. That's awesome. Hi, Todd. When do we get the good stuff? $20 donation through pay. If you get Christian, if you gave a $20 donation through Patreon, I'm giving you a phone call, man. I'm so grateful for that. I only have a limited amount of people I can take for $20 donations because I talk to these people. I send them lots of stuff. So I'll make sure you get that, Christian. I'm actually doing that in the next couple of days. I'm going to go through all my donators from Patreon and give you guys a call and have a talk and give you better access to me. So, because I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. You want to see me smile? We did it. And I mean, we did it. You guys do it. You watch my YouTube videos. You talk about me. You share my videos. Coming on expeditions, making the donations. We're going to have merchandise and stuff. We're really doing it. Like, just to imagine that the world has a human being that's very well supported. Amanda, Phil, a couple of the people I can't mention, all the expeditioners have this enormous support group. Survivor Man, Les Stroud, other PhDs I can't name that are privately working with me. We have this, it's really happening, people. There really is full-time Sasquatch research going on. Don't take my word. I did it last year. I was out for, how many weeks? 16 weeks last year. I was out in the bush. That's, and now I'm interviewing people every day. I'm talking about Sasquatch every day. I'm putting together a documentary for you guys. The documentaries, they don't, you guys pay for those documentaries. There's no profit in those things. They're just a tool to help the discovery of Sasquatch move forward. So, Stephen Skokart's big last name SK. The group I know tends to disappear from the area temporarily. It makes sense from a biological standpoint. They go where the food is. Absolutely. There's a guy in Mississippi that I've been talking with. He's flipping out. Just like, my God, they're here. They've been here for so long. And he's so happy to be talking to somebody. And and I hope I don't know, I haven't got any evidence, and I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, because I get BS'd a lot. Let's be honest. There are people that call me and just like, I worked with a couple of people out of Idaho. I was so excited about them. They had this property. They've been on it for a long time, and had all this stuff. And anyways, at the end of the day, they called me and they say, oh, the Sasquatch are all gone. They broke into our house, stole our mirrors, signaled the spaceships, and they've flown off their own planet. No more Sasquatch here. And I was like, oh my God, I just wasted 2 months of my time, because I don't believe that for 2 seconds. I don't believe the Sasquatch broke into their house, stole their mirrors. What they were doing is they were watching Survivor Man, watching my movie, and listening to other very authentic researchers and feeding me BS information. And I fell for it. That's the only way to put it. I wasted 2 months of my time talking to them so much. And after that, I just believed they were all full of crap. So Lee, I don't know if we got your email, Lee, but send it to bigfootencounter@gmail.com. I get so many emails every day, Lee, and it's been overwhelming. And I've been working really hard getting the expeditioners organized and all put together. That's kind of been my February, March thing, is get the expeditioners done, put to bed. There's so many things that we have to discuss with the expeditioners. They have so many questions about things. And so it's a lot of work talking to them, working through it, even getting the right people on board. I've talked to, since February, I've talked to over 100 people, and that's 100 hours of even more of time and dedication. And, and I've got what I want for expeditioners. So I'm very happy with the expeditioners. And then 3 of them quit because of the coronavirus. So, we're saying, I'm not saying that, Amanda. You just said, anyways. BigfootEncounter@gmail.com if you've had an encounter or something cool is going on. So, is that Kyle? Oh, there's Kyle. I was just talking about New York City. That's your actual name, Kyle. You don't have anything secretive about you. So, and then Kyle will come on the expedition, and my expeditioners, all of them. We got 2 expeditioners at least on here right now, and they're first-time expeditioners. But you'll see what happens. They'll come on expedition. They'll go talk. How many times do I have expeditioners that have been out in the field with me right here on the live chat? Awesome, amazing questions. Highly intelligent people. I'm Kyle. I'm so impressed with you, kid. I want to call him kiddo. I'm so impressed with that kid. I mean, he has a deep admiration and respect for me, which I'm very flattered by. He loves my stuff. And he's this young kid who gets to come out with somebody he admires. And I'm going to teach that kid about tracking and skills. He's going to have an awesome time. We only have, I'm just going to put one other person on his expedition. And I'm keeping my expedition small this year. I used to take 3 people. Now it's mostly 2 that I'm taking out. I have a couple groups of 3, but it's because it's their group. It's their actually. There's one group of 4 that possibly wants to come out with me, and I'm not happy about that. But they're such good people. I think I'm gonna do it. They're bringing out the 12-year-old, so it's hard for me to bring a young child out like that. It's been really hard, but these dudes are badass. The dad that's coming out is bad. He's gonna be armed to the teeth. I just can't have any. Everybody that comes out with me is so protected. My protective instinct is so high. I take such good care of my expeditioners. They've always, never has anybody been injured or harmed in any way. I would sacrifice myself long before I ever let that happen. And yeah, so Mark 1138 says, was it Nordegg where the footage was shot? No, I do not. There were structures, and that's where Meldrum saw Sasquatch. You know what? That's not a big deal for me, guys. What you saw in Discovering Bigfoot, I mean, I've done that 20 times where people are like, oh my God, I just saw more than 20 times. People will be like, oh my God, I just saw a Sasquatch. Just like Jeff Meldrum. What did you, I just saw a Sasquatch. And then there's tracks, and then there's tree breaks and structures and apples taken. The evidence, the sounds, you saw it. It's all there. And you go out there and you can kiss my ass if you think that there's something fraudulent going on here. There's no damn way, like one expeditioner told me, how the hell, because his whole family's like, there's no way you saw a Sasquatch. That guy just fooled you. You're a fool. He goes, really? Some giant guy in a suit that was 9 feet tall, and not only had a suit on, he must have been wearing about a 400-pound backpack. Because let's say he was a 400-pound man. That was at least an 800-pound individual. So a man wearing a 400-pound man dressed with stilts on was, you know what I mean? Had a 400-pound backpack and took stride lengths in his stilts that were 1.5 times what a man could do, and went up mountains and disappeared and was gone. Come on. And they were there. They know. You know, like, for God's sake, even most of the time, what's awesome is the expedition will be like, I'll be over there, and they'll be like, I just saw something over there. I didn't tell him to look there. I didn't tell Jeff Meldrum to look there. I didn't tell Survivor Man to look over there. I didn't tell anybody. They, 95% of the time, hear it, see it themselves first. 95% of the time. That's how awesome it is. And you really have to understand that's important too, because that's why I picked these expeditioners, because there's really something special about them that's just going to make them have great success. And I can't explain what that is. It's just, I think about the way a Sasquatch thinks. And I think, would this guy be interesting? Would a Sasquatch is this guy going to really get success? And that's why I have such good success. I pick and choose my people. You apply to come out on expedition with me, ladies and gentlemen. And most people are denied, for many, many reasons. So, because I want to have success. I'm not wasting my damn time. I'm not going out there, I want to have good success. And that's why Happiest Wife Ever and another lady, so excited to have them come out. I mean, I'm so happy for their support. I'm so happy they believe in me. And, Kyle, Kyle's special. That kid, Kyle's seen a Sasquatch. No, hasn't seen one, but he's live interacted with a Sasquatch before. That makes you special right there. That puts you right up on my list, especially if I see authenticity, like SoCal Force Ninja. That guy's doing Sasquatch research. If you fooled me, congratulations. And you know what's not cool about that? What really hurts my feelings, and this hurts my feelings, is people like Survivor Man, Jeff Meldrum, John Benedigo. I actually love those people. Those people are my heroes. I have deep admiration and respect for these men. To think that I would men like that and say, tell people how authentic and how real I am. To think I was deceiving them, oh my God, ow, my heart. Oof, my heart hurts, right? I don't deceive those wonderful, great men. Everything they experienced was absolutely authentic. And so check out Sasquatch on Facebook, guy dressed as a Sasquatch playing a saxophone in the woods. I like to laugh too. And I think I've seen that, and it was pretty funny. Smelly Do Right. Hope the border is open when the NYC. Oh, of course it'll be open. Come on. In fact, Americans can come up right now. The border has not been closed to. We can't close. Canada can't close the border to the United States. Woo! We'd be in big trouble. You guys need us, and we need you. So, at least last time I checked, that was 3 days ago. 3 years ago. 3 days ago, the Prime Minister announced it closed the border. So, the Prime Minister is like the President of Canada, the leader of Canada, in case you don't know. And he announced that the border is closed to everybody except the United States of America. You don't close the border to those people. We're connected. We're the 51st. My God, there's the only difference between Canadians and Americans. Well, three differences. We have different license plates. You guys have a big, awesome army in the U.S., and we have awesome, amazing Medicare. All my stuff is free for Medicare. All Canadians get free Medicare. Those are the major differences between our countries, and that's about it. So legal systems are extremely the same, and we're just people. So border will be open. Don't worry about that stuff. That's ridiculous. And I don't know. There's no chance the border won't be open. We're gonna beat this coronavirus. Come on, we're gonna beat this. Don't be silly. We're gonna get through this stuff. So Emma says, it's so good to see that smile, Todd. It's amazing what you've already accomplished, let alone what you're yet to do. Thank you, Emma. And yeah, I am. It just makes me happy to do this show with you guys. You guys are awesome. So Royal Creation says, we support you because you're genuinely awesome and your work is worthy. You rock. Thank you so much, Royal Creations. That's awesome. Let's get some crazy chronic awareness. Anyone here seen Bob Gimlin's channel? I love his style of telling encounters. What if you're talking about Bob Gimlin of the Patterson Gimlin footage? I didn't know he had a channel. I would love to hear that kind of stuff. Because oh my God, Bob Gimlin. It's a miracle that a wonderful man like that was there to witness the greatest piece of Sasquatch footage ever recorded. I just can't deny it. That footage is a miracle. It's amazing. It's authentic. And Bob Gimlin is, you can't fake integrity like that. He's just full of integrity, and he's just so amazing. So let's do some crazy questions, guys. I have a crazy thing to talk about if there's no crazy. Todd, I'd have your back on. Oh yeah, Dan, thank you. And I feel like that too. My expeditioners, I tell you, like as an example, so it was only day 2 on expedition with Cody, my brother who just had my brother from another mother who just had a baby, and then Jonathan, my U.S. Ranger dude, he's on his U.S. Ranger military stuff. Very skeptical. Both of them were skeptical, but it was so fun. That was my first ever expedition. And so we get charged by a Sasquatch, and he smashes over a tree. So I don't know it's a Sasquatch yet, so I pull up my sidearm, I point it at the ground, because I'm not sure if it's a bear or what, right? So, and then I look behind me, and Jonathan picks up the shotgun. I didn't even know, like it was so fast. Jonathan picks up the shotgun, he's got that thing ready to go, and Cody pulls out this huge knife, and I got these two dudes that are just ready to go to war, right? One on one shoulder, one on the other, like pushing me. Let's go, Todd. We're in. Let's go. What's going on? And I was like, people don't do that. I was a doorman in nightclubs for 10 years, and I can't tell you how many people I went through when there was an altercation. These new doormen would run away, and they wouldn't stand up, and they were just cowards. I've seen it a lot. And oh my God, those guys were just like, I look back in their eyes, and they were like, nobody's going to touch Todd Standing while I'm here. And it just... And I forever have a relationship with those guys, forever. Like, I want to go to their weddings. I'm going to go see Cody's new boy. I'm excited. I'm Uncle Todd now. This is what happens when people go out and go through stuff like that together. When you struggle and fight and survive and bleed, it's hard, man. My expeditions are no cakewalk. You're going to go. The expeditions go as hard as you can go. It's not. Oftentimes, I take out guys that are as fit as I am. I'm not going to lie. There are dudes that I take out that are so goddamn fit. In fact, I have to bite my tongue because I think I took out one expeditioner, maybe a couple. I'd say one expeditioner he could do a 24-hour mountain bike thing, and he came in. Well, I came into expedition with my quad was hurting from expeditions. I'd been doing so much hiking and so much stuff, and it was tough. It was really a hard year for expeditions, and I came in with a firefighter captain, my brother William, and I think he's in better. It's hard for me to say that, but I think he was fitter than me. Well, we had electric bikes, and it started hailing and raining really bad. And these electric bikes, they brag about how they're all weather. That's bullshit. So one of the bikes broke down that he was on, and the other one was still working. And I was like, I gave him the good one, and I said, brother, you get this bike back and put it under cover. And it was a good 10-minute bike ride for him under power of the electricity of the bike. It was going to take me an hour to get back, but my bike was already not working. Or his bike was not functioning. So we switched. And the reason I gave him that bike is because he was tougher than me on that day. He was just better than me. My leg was injured. And I was like, we got to separate, man, because I don't want to wreck this bike. We needed that bike for the next day for some big plans that we had. So he got that bike back because he's a tough as nails boy. Woo! Man, is that a tough human being. So I get so inspired by guys like, gosh, I had a guy from Boaston come out, a little bit of an accent, Scout. He's a great big guy. It's about an inch shorter than me, maybe. Big, 6'2" and 240 pounds. And so we're hiking along, and I'm like, I'm trying to take it easy on him. He goes, are you taking it easy on me? I go, well, yeah, I don't want to hurt you. He goes, screw you. I trained for this. Let's go. And so he starts giving her, and we're climbing up these hills and stuff. I'm like, holy crap, man. So he matched me step for step, no doubt about it. And I admire the fact that I can take people out and get them in shape. That people will train and diet and get in shape to come out with me. I'm making people healthier and happier. How awesome is that? World Bigfoot Radio. Boots on the ground gets results. I spent 176 nights in the field in 2015. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know if I've ever spent... There are years where, I guess when I was doing Montana stuff, that's a lot. Nights, when you're out there for nights, that's hard. Multiple Bigfoot encounter experiences. As a result, getting in the woods is how you vet information, find things. And you're totally right. It almost bothers me the way there's just, what do you call them, armchair quarterbacks? These people that, and it's, theorizing is good though. I like theorizing. I'll go out there, I'll do 100+ days in the field, go kick some ass. And I think that's kind of maximum for me would be around 150, 170. That's kind of max because I'm not going out in the winter anymore because I don't want to harm the Sasquatch. So you don't chase animals around in the winter. You leave the Sasquatch alone in the wintertime because if you push them, you could harm them and kill the old ones and the young ones. It's hard enough to survive in the winter. They don't need any extra pressure from anybody else. So that's why I don't do, and I do my court cases and I do the theory. I theorize in the wintertime when I'm not out. But if you don't have boots on the ground, it's worthless. Who's going to find the tracks? Who's going to get this done? It's boots on the ground is, my God. And there's just too many guys in this research that are just theorizing and stuff. And, again, that's nice and I like it. It's the combination. But what's more important? Boots on the ground. No doubt about it. That's why Jimmy Chilcott, the fingerprint expert, when I called him and talked to him, he's the first time I ever said that or ever heard that said. He's talking to me and he goes, I was talking about appearing in my court case in my trial with his evidence. He goes, you know what though? I'm sick of this theorizing. He goes, that's the problem with Sasquatch research is there's nobody boots on the ground. I go, what do you mean boots on the ground? He goes, out there getting it done, research in the field. And I laugh and I go, oh, Mr. Chilcott, you can call me Mr. Boots on the ground. He goes, what do you mean? I go, call Jeff Meldrum, call John Bennernagel. Those men, they'll tell you, I'm out in the field. I'm the guy in the bush. I'm boots on the ground. He goes, oh, check on that. And then he gets back to me and he goes, all right, clearly you're boots on the ground. I'll come testify and this is how we're going to do it. So he agreed to testify in my court case because I'm boots on the ground. Have a good day, So there's a question here that, where is it? So it's from Mark 1138. Where's better, Nordegg or Radium? In the beginning, it wasn't about better. It was about what people can do. I couldn't hike Jeff Meldrum and John Bennernagel. I couldn't do it in Radium because everywhere I went was just brutal. Like your legs bleeding, basically hike till you're ready to collapse and cough blood, high altitude, just killing people. I couldn't do that with Jeff Melt. I did it with Survivor Man, but it wasn't reasonable for anybody. Well, now with new logging, unfortunately, that's happened in the Radium area, they're doing logging everywhere. Logging. We got into Radium because everything was logged 15, 20 years ago, right? So it's just a reality. It's what's happening. But now with the new trails and me making new discoveries at new areas with the Sasquatch, now Radium can be easy and hard. It's both. It's just whatever the people are capable of, right? So I've got that separation. Nordegg was difficult or easy. And with Meldrum and Bennernagel, I took them out to maybe 5 out of 10 difficulty. They're tough dudes. They did well. I'm not complaining. But I didn't take them up really, really steep. Meldrum did pretty good. Actually, they both did pretty good. I'm going to have to reassess. I took those boys out. I gave them 7 out of 10 hard. That's how hard I took those guys, and they did it. They were amazing. But Stroud, like when I say 10 out of 10, that means you have your backpack on and you're going backcountry, and you basically stop when your legs don't function anymore. And when you're done for the day, it's because your legs won't work anymore. You're exhausted. You're like, literally, you're burned right out. And when you're in good shape and you're fit, tough, and you go till you burn, till it's over, that's 10 out of 10. You can't go anymore. You're literally like, oh, my leg won't lift. Okay, we're done for the day. And so but now Radium is both. So that's the point. All my footage is from Radium. The Radium Sasquatch too, the reason I go there is because for the most part, when a Sasquatch, the Radium, I call them the wild bunch. The Nordegg Sasquatch will come and run away. That's very typical Sasquatch behavior. They'll come and leave, come and leave. The boys in Radium, they're like, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. And that happens about 70% of the time. They're like, I'm not leaving. I'm standing my ground. I call them the wild bunch. This is their home and they don't leave. And that's what I want badly, is just for them to stand their ground like they do. And then you can have better interactions, right? I mean, there's a Sasquatch over there. He's not going anywhere. We move towards him. He's moving towards us. Come on, boys. Right? So I prefer that with the Radium Sasquatch. I've had more of a relationship with them. And you have to make a decision, fish or cut bait. And I didn't want to, you got to be laser about things. If you really want to get results with things, like master of all or jack of all trades or master. Either you're a master of something or you're sort of jack of all it. And I'm focused on Radium because we're going to get a mastery of Radium. We're going to break it down when we see the tracks, when we see the tree breaks. We're going to be there all the time. And also Radium is less compromised. There's a bunch of twits that are going into, I have video footage. I put out apples and this jerk came along, knew where the structure was, tore the apples down, threw them on the ground, and broke the damn Sasquatch structure. What a douche. So there's lots of real twits that are still involved in the Nordegg thing. Real pieces of garbage. They're not interested in the Sasquatch research. They're interested in becoming famous. They're interested in making money, and that's it. And I don't get along with those people at all. Zero. If you're about the money, about being famous, it just doesn't work. So that happened with me with a partner I took out last year. You know, this person just was about the money and about being famous. And it's not going to work, man. It's just bad news. It's really, really bad. So Spartan Soldier 76, this is experience from orangutan spearfishing. So I imagine it's possible Sasquatch might do that. So I don't know what Amanda's talking about. Did I miss something? This is evidence of orang Utah spearfishing. Okay, so I think Amanda's talking about maybe an orangutan spearfishing. So Sasquatch spearfish. Let's talk about that. Where the salmon are in Radium, there was a rock kind of in the middle of this this really hard, difficult area to get to. That just there's no way. You got to really go backcountry and kick some ass. It's an area that I really couldn't get to in a day. I might be able to now because of a new logging road and because of our electric power bikes. I might be able to get around there in a day and come back. But anyways, I would get to the spot and the rock that was in the middle of this creek, I didn't film it because it's a very precious spot and I don't want it discovered. I don't want it talked about. But anyways, I kept seeing the rock it looked like there were tracks all over it because the Sasquatch were on it, I thought. And then I found a spear that had, a pointed tip to it. It looked really primitive. It was, just looked like it was thinned out with a rock. And there's no people around there. What the? And there's Sasquatch tracks all over the place. And so I believe, because even spawning salmon, where I am in Radium, the salmon are very small because they're not ocean salmon. They're landlocked. They just live in the rivers. They're called the Kootenai salmon in Kootenai National Park, where Sasquatch are very famous. So, but to get the salmon to be able to like pick them out of the water, they basically look like zombies. They look horrible. They're all gray, and I don't think they're very edible. But if you could get them, the only way you could get them earlier, like I don't think you could grab them out of the water. They see you coming, man. They don't want to get grabbed. They're always evasive, and Sasquatch are spearing them, and the spear was there. I filmed it really well. I had a look at it, and then the Sasquatch were really pissy at me when I came over there once. And it was just one time that I saw the spear. It was the second time I'd been there, and I just noticed stuff on rocks. There's a big boulder in the middle of the creek, and there's lots of salmon around there. I thought, man, if you go and stand there and just waited a while, the salmon would come back around and pool, and you could hit them with the spear. So it's just like the perfect setup. And seeing how that rock kept getting wet for no reason, and there was lots of research that I'd been doing where it really, with practice, I kept saying what a rock looks like when it has a bit of mud, when it has water on it regularly. So it looks to me like that rock has been really, it's had too much water on it. And the day I was there, it was just drying off and it hadn't been raining. So how'd that rock get wet? Did a bear come climb on it? There's no bird feces on it or anything like that. So, and then when I found that spear, only once did I see, I've only been there twice. So wet rock once. Second time I went there, there was the rock looked like it had been wetted a lot. It just had been dry, and it's bleached weird because sun and water. Just there's lots of stuff going on. I've worked this and practiced this and experiment, and then I found that darn spear sitting there. So even something I think Sasquatch would do, they wouldn't take the spear with them. They're not going to walk around. Just leave the damn spear there, right? So, and the spear did have a hint of salmon smell on it. I think they're washing the tip off. So it'd be less likely that an animal or a bear is going to come chew on it. But there were bears in the area. But anyways, it's not proof. It's not great evidence. But right now, I would say I'm about 30% convinced that it's Sasquatch spearfish there. I know it's a low number, but I need some more research, and I need, put a game cam out there, right? I know that's what you're going to say. I'd love to do that, but I did that. I left it out there for a whole year, and then nothing came around. So I don't know. It's weird. It's really hard, this research, guys. It's so tough. So tough. Hopefully I didn't freeze up or anything. There we go. Whoops. Oh, slow down. I'm just going through my questions here. So Jimmy, Todd, shoot the bad person next time. I know I'm not going to shoot anybody. They're just people. There's a very eclectic group of personalities in our society, and I don't get along with them very well. Most of them, let's be honest, good 80% of society, we don't see eye to eye, and I'm very different. I'm not a normal guy. That's why I'm here. If I am one of the top Bigfoot researchers in the world, and I think I am, let's just face it, I'm top, if not the top, on the top, really, really up there. And Bigfoot is paranormal, so I'm one of the top paranormal researchers in the world, right? So am I going to be normal? I don't know. But great men and women, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, they were absolutely abnormal weirdos. Some of them were, going to be killed for their new ideas and saying things that are very real. The earth is round, kill him! The earth isn't round, and the church says it's flat, kill him! And he was right, the earth was round. And that crazy guy who was paranormal, Darwin, oh my God, I wouldn't want to be Darwin, evolution, that's not real. And he's right, and Darwin was right, and evolution is real. And please don't tell me that's not real. Go do your research. So Christy Horo says, I want the Sasquatch acknowledged, respected, left alone, and protected. You know what's going to happen though, Christy? Totally agree. Acknowledged, respected. How are we going to leave them alone though? Because you know what's going to happen? People are going to want to meet them. People are going to want to, people are going to see them. How do we fix that? That's a big problem, isn't it? It's a big problem. I'd love to hear your ideas because I want it too. I want them acknowledged. I want them protected. I want them to get all that respect. But There's going to be so many more people that are going to want to see them. And what do we do? How do we figure that out? What are the laws going to be? You know, so because yeah, are we going to push them back? Bad things can happen in discovery, right? And you got to understand, guys. I'm about 70% convinced that this discovery needs to happen, and I still have some doubt. I do, but I'm at 70, 75% even, that we need this discovery. The Earth needs this discovery. The Sasquatch need to come help us. We're damaging and destroying this environment. We've lost our way in nature. We have. We've become disconnected from nature, and in nature is where we're from. It's where survival is all about. It's the most precious, wonderful thing. I am not a Sasquatch expert. I'm a wilderness. I don't even want to call myself an expert. I'm a wilderness expert. I can go out in the wilderness and do things that have impressed Survivor Man, impressed John Benernagel. You know, Jeff Meldrum was impressed with me. More so John Benernagel and Survivor Man because they spent more time with me. But John Benernagel is a wildlife biologist, and I was teaching him stuff, you know. So John Benernagel was very, very impressed with me, no doubt about it. Survivor Man, right on the TV show, says, hey, don't you dare do this stuff without a high degree of survival skills. And then he looks over at me, and you know what he's saying? He's saying, this man, I led Survivor Man. He knows I know that area. You don't go out there and go, okay, so there's a Sasquatch structure over here. You want to go see that? There's tracks over there. You don't do that, and you haven't been there. Okay, so we're going to come over this hill, and about 2 miles after that, there'll be a big dip and a creek, and then past that, there's some Sasquatch tracks sometimes. How do you know that? And I'm taking him, I say, where do you want to go? Pick your spot. And he's like, holy crap, you know this area. You know, you don't go out there and you don't know all that stuff without a high degree of survival skills. High. I'll take you to places where you'll be terrified. You'll see the wildest, craziest bears and mountain lions and wildlife out there. Wild. Like you can't not, when you're in when I can get you into the old growth forest stuff, you're going to have goosebumps. You're going to be like, wow. You're going to see bear scratches on the trees, scat from moose and elk, tracks all over the place, rabbits and birds and grouse and trees that are like, I'll be like, this is truly old growth forest, where you see old ancient trees with brand new ones spread out properly. You'll be picking berries and don't eat that. Hey, you have got a cut, put this leaf on it and you'll feel really good. You know, when you see all that stuff, you see the expertise. So, and that's what this is all about. That's why I'm moving forward, Christy, is because I want the Sasquatch to inspire people to get back into loving nature, grow plants. I'm friends with this wonderful lady who's getting incredible Sasquatch stuff happening in Alaska. I can't say much about her because she wants to stay private, but she's so organic. She's growing her own plants. She's so into the biology, medicinal. Hey, you got a cold, eat this plant. And man, you know, no wonder the Sasquatch come around her. She's got this love and adoration of nature. And I'm learning a lot about Alaska. Holy crap. They don't have elk in Alaska, for hardly any elk, and they barely have any deer. It's all moose. I'm like, what the hell? I got elk like crazy out here. There obviously are Sasquatch out there, and the Sasquatch here, like a primary food source, is the herds of elk. Like, there's no elk up there. I'm like, what the hell? So now it's caribou and the moose, but there's moose like crazy in Alaska. So now you're going to get really different biological behaviors from the Sasquatch because there are no herds of elk. But you get tons of salmon spawning and tons of fish, right? So, and those are ocean salmon, and there's multiple species of salmon that are spawning. That's why the bears are so big up there. The bears are monstrous. And, you know, are the bears a food source? I doubt it. But then there's another couple in Alaska that I want to go visit really badly that have all this Sasquatch stuff going on. But now they're butchering bears and getting really nice cuts of meat and you know, getting hundreds of pounds of meat out of them. And for goodness sake, the Indians where I live don't do that. But the Indians here have grizzly bears, and there's a difference between a grizzly bear and a brown. I know they're the same species, but what we've done is we've labeled the grizzly bears. They're a little smaller, a little faster, and they have a grizzly color, and they have silver tips on them, which is not. Brown bears are the same species. They can breed together, but I'm calling them a subspecies just because the brown bears, they just get so big because of the salmon, and they're built for that. And they're not much for hunting the elk and the deer, and ours are, because there's less salmon and they need more hunting, and then plus our bears dig up marmots. There's a lot of differences when you're in away from the oceans. The bears along the oceans, they'll eat clams and crack them up, and there's all sorts of food, mussels along the coast to eat. There's tremendous amount of food sources. And then when the salmon come, they just get fat. They'll just gorge and get fat and huge. And so those bears are really, really enormous. And, just the biology, just basically a bear that lives 600 miles west is different. They're bigger. And then you take them north and they get huge. The Kodiak grizzlies are freaking monsters, right? Barely smaller than polar bears, even if there actually is some debate about who is the biggest bear in the world, because the Kodiaks from Kodiak Island are so big, and there are Sasquatch on the Kodiak Islands. So Timothy Treadwell had a couple experiences, but he didn't want to talk about it because he didn't want to take away from his grizzly bear research. But a native tribe from Kodiak Island contacted me, showed me tree breaks, told me about their interactions with them and how they're there. So they're even there on Kodiak Island. So just a few more questions, guys. I got tons of stuff to do tonight because, oh my God, I'm so crazy busy. Michael with a big K, you can rewind now, but missed the rest of the live show, or wait until the show is over. The video will be available on YouTube. That's right. Thank you for that, Amanda. So I shouldn't even read Amanda's stuff because Amanda's here to help. Amanda's here to help and work for this discovery, guys. She's hardworking, devoted. Phil, all the people that help me out, they're just awesome. Amanda's here because she's passionate. Phil's here because he believes in this. Most of you are here for that reason, right? So, Sunny Day says they mac tolls. I don't know what that means. Sasquatchaholic. Is there Kootenai salmon? Is that Kootenai salmon? Yeah, the Kootenai. There's different variations of Kootenai. But in Kootenai National Park, that's where Jake lives. That's where my wild bunch kind of live. It's sort of in that area. And they're Kootenai Sasquatch predominantly. And the Kootenai salmon is what they eat. And you could look that up. So landlocked salmon, it's weird because they're so darn small. They're literally, I don't know, a quarter or even less, maybe a fifth the size of those amazing ocean salmon that the brown bears eat along the coast. Cindy, and they're not an indigenous species either. They were introduced. Sorry, my thing just bumped right down. Let's get to Joseph. Todd, Lobel, and Mullen will help your frosted lungs. My lungs are getting much better. But thank you. So you're saying Lobelli and Mullen. So that's, it sounds like natural stuff. I do have doTERRA oils and help. I'm strong, guys, so don't get me wrong. Holy crap. It's weird how, how people, they get out of breath like that. I don't really know what that is. So I hike up mountains. I stop because my legs are burning, not because I'm out of breath. I'll be at altitude and people are like, want to suck on an inhaler and like, the air's so thin. I've never felt thin air before. I'll go to Colorado next year in 2021. I'm going to go to Colorado and see if I can start, because I've just never felt the altitude. I've never felt harsh. I've never had any trouble breathing. So Mark 1138, I'm a native from Shuswap, BC. That is awesome. There's tons of Sasquatch out there, right, Mark? So Bigfoot quarantine, says Bill Clark. Grizzlies are coming out of hibernation now. Is that competition for food with the Sasquatch? That's a good question. And Bob before that says same species because food sources, they look different. You are Bob, man. Bang. Right. Correct. Thank you for making that precise. But it's even, you know what, Bob? It's in the evolution now. We have a grizzly bear in a big enclosure, like a huge enclosure. It's that people go over on a gondola at the Kicking Horse in Golden, British Columbia. And his name's Boo. This is really cool. This is an awesome story. And most people don't know this. Boo easily can get out of his enclosure. It's electrified, but he can get out of there. So Boo broke out of there. Boo was starving. Boo can't survive. He's a coastal brown bear. He's too big. But you know why Boo broke out? Boo broke out because Boo went and bred with a female. Todd Standing found Boo's tracks. I knew where Boo was. Nobody asked the tracker. These dumbasses, they're so stupid. Like, go hire an Indian tracker. Like, what the hell? The indigenous people can track like bat. Why is there no indigenous people tracking on search and rescue? It's stupid. How dumb is that? And you know what? Actually, it's not stupid. It's horrifically irresponsible because people die because we don't put real trackers on search and rescue crews. It's disgusting. It is nothing short of disgusting. Human beings could have been saved, lives could have been saved. Shut your freaking mouth, search and rescue. Hire yourself a goddamn indigenous tracker and they'll find people, you know? And they're still, I don't know, are they still out there? I don't even know. It's been so long and the natives in North America have been so smashed down and treated like crap and not given their due that, you know, people are dying in search and rescue. There was a man that went missing in Merritt. It was quite famous. I went out there looking for him. I don't know. It was maybe a week or two after. The natives said, "Hey, can you come out here and find this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go." So I go to, because I could have found him because his horse came back. And I'm like, I'll just reverse track his horse. I'll track a horse. I'll figure it out where he is. I'll find him. I go out there. No, too late. Search and Rescue's been out there with freaking 100 horses. So I go to the, so where's the horse? Okay, I can still do this. Where's the track of the horse that came back, of the rider that's missing? I don't know. It's one of these. Which one? I don't know. Okay, well, he had corked shoes, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's corked. There's 4 corked shoes here. We'll just follow them. Dude, I just got 4 trackways to follow. That's retarded. I'm going to be here. The guy's going to be dead by the time I find him. So all they needed to do was say, whoa, 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 whoa. Hell with search and rescues. The helicopters made a disaster of it. Oh my God. Helicopters for a tracker on search and rescue, you might as well put a bullet in his brain. You have to understand that a tracker reads nature, right? So I go out there, and I don't know what, the deer are running all over the place, and there's freaking, the coyotes and the fox are freaking out. Like the place is a goddamn mess. What the hell's going on? Helicopters every 20 minutes. The deer are running all over the place. So the animals are freaking out. There's not supposed to be and the helicopters fly right over, right? It's so now I'm just screwed right up because I forgot, or I didn't realize how much I rely on the animals. A deer will move away from this and do that, and you can read it in the biology. The animals are part of tracking, immensely important part of real wilderness knowledge and tracking. They were insane the way all this stuff was happening out there, and quads and stuff that are never there, people hiking and scaring them all over. So the deer are freaking out and losing their stuff. So I don't know, it was a freaking mess. So anyways, that's what I have to say about that. So hopefully that brings into that. But anyways, grizzlies coming out of hibernation, are they competition for Sasquatch? Again, I didn't really answer that question. Well, the Sasquatch and bears, not. I'm just going to say no, because the Sasquatch are just down as an apex species. Literally, a grizzly could kill a bear, and then the Sasquatch could take it away from him, right? But then there's no reason for a Sasquatch to take away from a kill from a bear. He can go get his own. You're talking like there's such an apex species, guys. A Sasquatch can literally just roll out of bed in the morning and go, I'm going to have bighorn sheep today. They know where they are. They know how to get them. They'll have one Sasquatch, and the power of cooperation and intelligence, right? You have a Sasquatch scare the bighorn sheep down a corridor. There's a Sasquatch waiting at the end of the corridor, break his neck, throw a rock on his head. Done deal. I've actually, I've been told about a man that I worked with in Montana for many years, a very good hunter. He actually became aware of the Sasquatch because they were herding deer towards him. He's hunting deer and they're like being herded towards him through corridors. He's like, what the hell? It doesn't happen. It's because the Sasquatch were herding deer for him because they liked him. They wanted him to get a deer. And that's how he realized the Sasquatch were there, because of the way the elk were moving and the elk were moving away from him, and they were moving away from outfitters that were trying to hunt these elk. Every year the outfitters would go out of business because there's, hundreds of elk there, and then the hunters would come in and the elk would get herded away by the Sasquatch. Elk don't do that. Elk don't know how to go into, they don't do that. They were herded away by the Sasquatch. Anyways, so just so amazing, the level of amazing with these species. It's totally, totally amazing. KDF, not through YouTube, he gets, oh right, what Amanda's saying I can't say. I'm not even supposed to talk about YouTube. I call them the internet platform that must not be named. I love YouTube, and I am very grateful for this platform to talk with you guys. But if you make a donation through discoveringbigfoot.org or Patreon, I can give you downloads of stuff, and I will. I'll give you the movie as a download, and there's other stuff I give that I can't really talk about publicly, but I give a lot of stuff. And then you get on the newsletter and you're supporting the discovery of Sasquatch, right? I'm doing this, guys. There's recon happening this year. Spring is springing. I'll be out back in the wilderness, and I absolutely love it. So just maybe one more question. I just have so much fun with you guys. You guys are so awesome. Christy again. When I said left alone, I meant masses moving on just to get a look. It needs to be left alone to professionals like yourself. Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it? It's a lot. There's a lot of discussions to happen, and I'll probably not be in that discussion, I don't think. I'd like to really just retire from this stuff. I haven't said that in a long time, but just so you know, when the discovery's done, I would just kind of like to, I'll give all the information I have, help as much as I can, and there's just going to be a point where I would just love to just kind of disappear into the woodwork and just let other people take over. So that's, that's just what I want. I don't want to do this in the end. At the end of the day, it's really hard. I'm still really young and I'm still really fit. Like I feel like when Kyle comes out, my little 20-year-old expeditioner, he better be in shape, boy, because there's not too many 20-year-olds that can keep up with me. I am very, very fit, very strong. I train hard. It's a huge part of what I do. I eat really well. I have an excellent diet, super healthy food. And Harry asked, do I think that they're a big fellas are in risks of the pandemic? Just watch the beginning of this video. I'm going to be done the video just in a few minutes. And yeah, and Chris, you're right. People aren't always nice. Most of the time people are not nice. It breaks my heart too. But you know what the problem right now is, Christy? Well, you say, well, maybe it's better they get left alone. No, it's not, man. People can hunt them right now. If there's laws protecting them, I think we're better off that way. It's just ignorance. This is the end of the discussion. Do you want to remain ignorant, or do you want to of this Sasquatch? And hiding it and denying it and lying about it and keeping them hid, talk about. Because more people will want to shoot them and more assholes will go out there and hunt them. I'm sorry I said a swear word. But when you get inspired to come out and see a Sasquatch, I'll tell you from my own experience, the expeditioners that are inspired to come out and see a Sasquatch, they're amazing people. I have never met so many amazing, integral people as I did when I started doing me. Like, how brave is that? Man, I wish I did that when I was 20. Went out with someone that I admired and respected so much and did an expedition and went in the wilderness with him. Like, that's his holiday. That's his vacation. He's 20, in his early 20s, a punk. You punk. I'm jealous. I want to be jealous. So just one more question here, guys. Oh, and Phil says that there's going to be a chat room right after. Let's talk about that for just a second. The chat rooms are awesome. You guys can go have a chat there. There's no password tonight. And what did Phil say? It's right in the stream here. It's discoveringbigfoot.org. There's a link for it. Yeah, go to the chat room, guys. Have a chat there. I just can't attend tonight. I got so much stuff to do. I'm so sorry, Amanda. But go have a chat on there. Amanda and Phil, oh my God, those people, they'll answer your questions, man. They've been here like devoted. They know, gosh, Amanda could do this show just about. You know what I mean? So I'm not even going to read her stuff because whatever Amanda says, whatever Phil tells you, just listen to those people. I trust them. They know. They just get it right. They just get it right. They get it. They pay attention. They listen. And I have absolute trust and faith in them. Even my expeditioners that have been out with me, the expeditioners that have been out with me and boots on the ground with me, I trust them all. Just listen to what they have to say when they come on here, when they're on the chat rooms. They know. And I just trust them and think the world of them. So Dwayne, this will be the last question. How many times are people going to let it be known these things are not primates? Come on. Oof. Well, Dwayne, you can't. Dude, I'm a primate. Like, I'm an animal. I'm in, like, the scientific, I'm a mammal. I don't want to get upset about, I don't like it when people get upset about little semantic things like that. So, it's just, I'm carbon based. You can go, but these are facts. This is science. I'm a primate. They are primates. Please don't get upset about that stuff. I'm a primate. I'm a mammal. I'm warm-blooded. You know what I mean? I give birth. You know what I mean? Like, let's not get upset about and don't get upset when someone calls them a primate. Don't get upset about that stuff. Even I say that sometimes. we're not trying to be disrespectful. Um, it just it just is that way. So Amanda says that Phil is in charge of the chat room and our website, and there's Phil, Sci Guy. So Phil with the little blue thing, it says PHY guy, Sci Guy. Phil knows whatever Phil says. Yes, I say yes. Todd Standing says yes to everything, and Phil and Amanda say they know left, right arm. You know what I mean? So I have 100% faith in them. So anyways, that'll be the show for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We didn't talk much about the coronavirus, which is good. So a video scene from his Finding Bigfoot documentary. Anyways, yeah. So some mention of Joe Rogan. I'm so grateful to do this show, guys. This show is like awesome, wonderful. I even feel like it's therapy. No matter what kind of crap is going on in my life, I just enjoy coming on here and talking to you guys. You guys are, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for all your questions, guys. You guys are amazing. You make the show so fun. Odds of me being here next Wednesday are very, very high. And Throwback Thursday, and I'll do a Sasquatch Sunday. The videos are getting really good. I keep doing them because you guys are just loving them. Share them, talk about it. And thanks so much for your support. I look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Have some good questions, right? I love the punches. I love the SoCal Forest Ninjas and Roxanne, Mark 1138, native guy from Shoe Swap. So many people on here that that come on here. Have some good questions, guys. Like really, maybe write them down and just punch me, hit me hard. I love it. I get charged by 700-pound grizzly bears that want to kill me. Mountain lions hunt and stalk me. Black bears are chasing me around all the time. I'm not afraid of your questions. In fact, I welcome them with open arms. I really, really enjoy them. And yeah, thanks so much, guys. Y'all have an awesome, awesome week. Watch my videos this week, and I'll